What's up, Night Owl? Still here back with another video, and today we're going to be having a look at a user-submitted backstory for a D&D game. In this series, I go over your backstories as a dungeon master and any adjustments that I might make and what I would do with the backstory overall. If you would like to have your backstory review, join the Discord, link is in the description. Head over to the Backstory Submissions text channel and then submit your text document that has your character's backstory in it. Starting next week, I'm going to delete any submissions that aren't a text file. So if you've submitted a backstory that's just a wall of text, like you copy and pasted it, grab that, make it a text file, just save it in a notepad or something, and then put it in the Discord. That way it's a little bit cleaner. It's easier to go through. Again, next week, I'm going to start clearing out any backstory submissions that aren't text files. And today we're going to be having a look at Elias's backstory. Now, I selected this backstory for two reasons that I didn't bring up in my backstory guide, which I'll leave a link to in the description. And those two reasons are length and writing style. Now, this backstory isn't so long that I would send it back and tell them to redo it, but it does have some length to it. And I figured I would bring that up in this video because my backstories are usually on the opposite end of the spectrum. They're usually pretty short. So if you need like a hard target, like a limit to go for, I would shoot for around 300 words. That's about the length of it, like a newspaper article or any kind of article online. I would shoot for that. Anything above that, you're starting to get pretty lengthy. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit more information. Just don't write a novel. And that brings me to my next point. You want to write your backstory in an expository writing style, not a narrative writing style. And a majority of the backstories that I receive are written in a narrative writing style. And what I mean by that is a narrative writing style is more like a book or a novel or a poem, whereas the expository is more like like something you would read in a textbook where the information is just presented. This backstory is written in a narrative style. It actually tells a story about a character. And as a DM, I want to be able to pull information from it from an expository backstory or writing style. Now, the caveat to that would be you could write that informative section of your backstory first, and then at the end of it, you could throw in a paragraph or two story about your character. That way, your dungeon master can sort of get an idea of how they interact with the world, not just an information dump. That could be pretty cool. I do like that, but for the most part, the information part, you want it to be informative and you want the story part to be narrative. All right, let's have a look at this. In a world of shadows, pain, and suffering, the agony of the loss of life, doubt, and fear overwhelming the senses and taking over. A cry and plead, help me, save me, I cried. Suddenly relief in the form of blue gem with milky white swirls. This gem mesmerized me and took all my pain, fear, memories. I remember nothing. All right, that part's important. I remember nothing. No memory. Instead, I was replaced with emptiness, a void that never seemed to end, a hollowing that lasted an eternity. Was it hundreds of days or years? There was nothing which to tell. Oh, don't know how old you are. Let's see. I'm going to write don't know time. That's interesting. No memory and no idea what time period you're in. Suddenly I could feel her. The warm embrace of her hand, holding me, cradling me with her palm. All the while I could hear her sweet voice calling to me, child of shadows. Child of shadows. Bearer of thorns. Thorns. I have need for you, yet many souls have lost their way. You must bring them to me. The warmth of the hand quickly turned to a claw of a raven as I was swung through space and time. You were swung through space and time itself. I will bless you with my strength if you will bear my will, she said, as a great white wolf appeared before my eyes, the claws and eyes black like the cosmos, but the fur as white as snow. As I stared at the wolf, I felt its hatred for the undead. Hatred for the undead. Hatred for the undead, for creatures having long overlived their time, and its bloodthirst to end such beings. That same rage filled my soul with its quest to end such creatures. Okay, so you have a hatred for, okay, yeah, I got it. Hatred for undead. You're an undead hunter. Got it. All right, no memory, don't know time. Childish shadows, bearer of thorns, hatred for the undead. All these visions faded into complete darkness. When the shadows were peeled back from my eyes, I found myself alone in a field of snow. Dark night, full moon was the only source of light. No tracks on how I got there. And no memories of who or what I am. Okay, still no memories. All right, I'm not going to note that. Still no memory of who you are, who or what you are. So I began to wander this new world, and soon the dreams of prey filled my mind each night. Dreams of prey. Dreams of prey. Creatures that needed an end. These dreams from whatever sent me here wants me to kill it. And I followed them. Sometimes prey was abundant, and other times it was scarce. But I kept wandering, hunting for this prey of souls. Each time I killed my target, a piece of me came back as if a small glimpse of who I was before all this returned. Okay. Killing for memory is what I'm getting from that. The last time I killed, that first time I killed, it was a very old man in a small town. Okay, so it's not just undead, it's old people. He called on Lady Luck to save him from me, but he received no deliverance. I can't remember his name or how I got there, but I can tell you that was the first time I saw the blue gem again in a dream. It told me my name is Elias. Okay, got it. Put that there. I'm going to put that right there, Elias. So that might not actually be your name. That's just the name that this blue gem gave you. I also learned that other humans living in that town do not take kindly to such actions. Ignorance of laws? Question mark? I also learned that okay, so you're human. Other humans living in that town do not take kindly to such actions. Or maybe, okay, other humans, maybe he's talking about the old man. Right. We'll put a pin in that. I also learned that other humans living in the town do not take kindly to such actions. I was chased out of there, nearly escaping death. Their anger towards me made no sense. Do they not know that hunger that I feel? Huh. Hunger? Question mark. Hunger. Could they not tell it was the old man's time? The next kill was an undead skeleton. The crunch of its skull, wolfen jaws. Wait. The crunch of its skull in my wolfen jaws brought me a closeness with nature, filling my mind with spells. The vision that followed was a call from the earth and the wilds, beckoning me to care for it, and in turn, it would care for me. This began a long journey in my life, wandering aimlessly, seeking out any creature living well past its prime to bring its soul to the unknown voice I heard in my dreams. Let me read that again. Closer with nature, filling my mind. The vision that followed was a call from the earth and the wilds, beckoning me to care for the earth. I got you. Background explanation. The woman described as the Raven Queen. Okay, this is the information. This should be at the top. The woman described is the Raven Queen. Praise the Queen. Goddess of Death. Blue gem is where my soul and memories of Elias, or where the soul and memories of Elias are stored. The Raven Queen is said to have taken the form of a white wolf, raven, and owl as a messenger of death. Druid forms started with. What? Druid forms started with. Okay, so I guess you're a druid? Elias's memories of his previous life are kept from him. He doesn't understand right from wrong. Yeesh. But as memories return, this will shape his character. DM choice. All right. So you are a druid of the Raven Queen with no memories of anything, really, and a hunger for killing undead. No memory, don't know time. Child of shadows, bearer of thorns. Okay, I guess the bearer of thorns is the druid. A hunger for killing undead and old people. Old by whose standards? Sorry, so the first question, actually I have a lot of questions. So the very first issue that I see with this character is that you don't know the local law, you don't know laws, and you don't know who you are. You don't have any memory. So all of that is going to be a burden for your party to bear. So keep that in mind, that your party is going to have to deal with your baggage, which is the case for every character, really. But that's a lot of baggage. Also, you have a hunger for killing, and sometimes it'll be innocent old people in town, which is another burden for you and the party to bear. So that's something else to keep in mind. Also, no NPCs. You didn't give me a single NPC or location, really. All I really got from this backstory is that you serve the Raven Queen and that you hate undead. And I'm assuming you're a reborn because of the memory thing, but I could be wrong about that. It seems like a reborn servant of the Raven Queen, a reborn druid of the Raven Queen. That's what I'm getting from this. Another big question that I would ask as the dungeon master is, why were your memories taken away? So my first impression of this is that maybe you were a monster at one time and your memory was completely scrubbed and you just started with a clean slate. And if that's the case, the Raven Queen or whoever's in charge of the blue gem that has your memories wouldn't want you getting those pieces of your memory. So maybe you quest to get that memory back, only to learn more and more about the past that you shouldn't know about. And also you're going to be can you feel, I mean, I'm assuming that you can get new memories. So yeah, that's the big why were your memories taken from you? Also remember that the purpose of the backstory is to bind your character to the world. And there's nothing in this backstory that's binding you to the world. As a matter of fact, it does the complete opposite. By having this hunger to kill old people, and the Raven Queen is your only point of contact, is the only person that you remember that pulls you away from the world. That hunger is going to be an issue, and your only friend essentially is on another plane of existence, who you work for. What you could do is have memories of your childhood, maybe some childhood friends or some siblings, maybe you have a sister or something. That's the first thing that I would do if you handed me this backstory, is I would start filling in your childhood and giving you a few NPCs to bind you to the world and people to look for. And there's a really good opportunity for a twist, you remember your sister or your parents or whatever when you go look for them. Right there up at the top, you had a thing about time. I remember nothing. Was it hundreds of days or years? What I would do with this is, you could meet your grandchildren or your great grandchildren. Your memory is completely wiped, and you could go around looking for at some point you'll remember your character's last name, so you can look for them, and then you can find out, and then eventually you can learn about your legacy. And once you learn about your legacy, that will lead to breadcrumbs about your character. So yeah, get with your DM about the outcome that you're looking for. Because if it was up to me, I would talk to you about what you were looking for. And if you just left it open-ended, that's probably what I would do with it. I would make you some kind of horrible criminal in the past, its memories wiped and people don't know what happened to you. And then you sort of uncover that. And you also learn about that time jump. While you were wandering in the Shadowfell. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, you know how YouTube works. Hit those buttons, leave a comment down below. Make sure you submit your backstory in the backstory submissions by joining the Discord. Link is in the description. Come by, ask questions, let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you at sundown.